It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with my esteemed colleagues, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We'll watch the Brooklyn Nets in this one as they go up against the Memphis Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. Well, for the Grizzlies, playing under 500 basketball over the last 10 games, they can do better, and they'll try to get on the winning side tonight. Almost ready for tip-off, but first a moment to talk about something that often gets overlooked, defense. Kenny, who are the most impressive defenders in the NBA right now?
Well, defense doesn't get overlooked by championship teams, and I'm going to name some guys who've either played on championship team or contenders. Kawhi Leonard, defender on the wing. Andre Iguodala. MVP of the NBA Finals, but defense was one of the reasons. And Paul George, coming back from injury. This guy was a premium defender before the injury.
The Grizzlies look to take charge at the FedEx Forum, and we're going to bring it to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome, everybody. Glad you decided to spend your Thursday night with us here at 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and courtside Doris Burke. And, of course, Courtney Lee. They're struggling without him.
Well, to say the deal changes the look and feel of this franchise is stating the obvious. I mean, they are a vastly different team than they were a few days ago. Obviously looking long-term rather than the short-term.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, trading away a player with his talents is clearly a big-picture deal. I mean, you have to balance fit and talent as well as upside, and then to throw in the financial considerations. So this is more than just about the player.
We got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. They've got Johnson. Brook Lopez is out there with Young. Then it's Jarrett Jack, and it's Ellington in at the 2.
You know, the Nets really kind of drifted along for the first part of last season, treaded water, but after the All-Star break, they stepped on the gas, put themselves right back in the playoff picture.
It's the Nets now. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
And how about the game plan that was constructed for that one? I mean, it was apparent how powerless the D was to stop it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, they just didn't have an answer for anything they threw at them.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, Dave Yeager gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. According to him, their focus defensively is going to be on making things difficult inside. Ideally, they'll be in the best shape, he feels, if they force most of the shots against them to come from the perimeter. Guys?
Thanks again, Doris. Looking at Memphis, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Bulls.
And you guys know how much I love aggressive defense, but in that game, they were just a bit over the top, and it wound up getting them in foul trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was not just aggressive, it was reckless. I mean, they approached it more like bumper cars in a game of basketball.
Shot from 12. The Grizzlies pull it in. This game against Brooklyn here, it's their first look at the Nets.
Yeah, and they took both games they played against this club last season.
Yeah, Greg, I like this matchup for them. Not a cakewalk. It's not going to be easy, but they clearly have the advantage.
Here's Jack. Michael Conley making his last shot. Young passes to Lopez. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Picked by Randolph. The drive by Green. Johnson over to help. Green kicks to Conley. And so it looks like the Grizzlies will retain possession here. And now let's take a look at the number of second chance points these teams have had over the last month. These guys never give up on a possession. In third, the Grizzlies.
They have been aggressive underneath. I mean, they're playing with a physicality that you don't often see, and it's led to a lot of second chance points. The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
You know, Dave Yeager, the coach for the Grizzlies, has really become a big-name coach quite quickly. You know, he's worked his way up the Memphis coaching ladder and has had a ton of success early on in his career.
And the success we've been mentioning with Coach Dave Yeager. He was the second fastest active coach to get to 100 wins.
And Kevin made his way in terms of coaching, started in the D-League and other minor leagues before becoming an assistant with the Grizzlies, and really was the architect, if you will, of the defense that his team is so well known for. He's done a lot for this franchise and looks to be on track to become their winningest coach ever.
Here is Ellington after Jeff Green's bucket. Young, right side. Rejected by Randolph. Oh, and here we go. Green's got it. The pass break chance. Gasol, no good.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Here's Johnson. Got it. Good job in the low post.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Now the pass to Gasol. He kicks to Allen. Randolph against Young. The drive by Randolph.
I tell you what, you better watch out, fellas. He is on fire here today.
Nets leading by 3. Here's Jack. Rejected by Gasol. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Randolph.
All right, a chance here to check out the stats for Tony Allen. Some last season stats for him. Averaged about 8 points a game last season. Just over 2 steals and 4 rebounds. And you look at those numbers, not bad. But, guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Kevin Garnett is checked in for Gasol. Wright comes in for Zach Randolph. And it's Udrich in for Allen. Now here's Conley. He's coming off a 10-point game against Chicago.
And I thought the contribution he made by just generating contact, getting to the line was outstanding, guys. I mean, he picked up a lot of points at the stripe.
Good. He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback. Guys, Bargnani was compared to several other international players when he came out. Some said he was Nowitzki. Others thought he might be more like Yao Ming in terms of impact. Ming was the only other player taken 1 overall who had never played high school or college hoops.
Conley gets the bucket.
Oh, perfect timing there to knock down the teardrop.
Nets leading by 3. And Jack kicks to Robinson. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Boy, I love the great assist that time by Jack.
They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
Here's the floater. Bogdanovich grabs the miss. 3 on 3. Here's Hollis Jefferson. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
And so here's Memphis. After the basket by Brooklyn, just 5 to shoot. Wright sets a screen. Conley inside the line, and he connects on the jumper. The screen did the trick. Conley's got his 3rd basket of the night.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And taking a look at the Nets' performance here, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
They've been a well-oiled machine offensively thus far.
They've kept the ball moving, Greg, and their opponents chasing after it. That's how they've piled up all the points.
On the court right now, second quarter starting for the Nets. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Young. Then it's Bargnani. Then there's Wayne Ellington. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 1 spot.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration and alertness, a turnover, and an easy bucket the other way in transition.
And really a few more of those, and this game could be over.
Nets leading by 8. Last season, Memphis fell late and would end up with the 5th seed in the NBA playoffs. Only one of 2 teams to make the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons, along with the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and they were a team that nobody wanted to play. Memphis drew Portland in that first round, and even though they were the 5th seed, they had home court advantage.
That's outstanding hang-time improvisation right there.
Zach Randolph, he's checked in for Kevin Garnett.
You know, guys, Memphis waltzed through the first round against Portland. The second round, a lot tougher against Golden State. They went up 2-1 in that series, but couldn't hold on to that lead.
Over in the corner, Allen. And goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Brook Lopez is checked in for the Nets. Pass to Ellington. Got a piece of it. So it looks like the Nets will retain possession here.
And guys, Memphis would lose 2 of their 3 games at home against Golden State. So things got tough with the Conley injury and missing Tony Allen as well. But they did put up a good fight, ultimately, though, falling in 6 games to the Warriors.
Johnson, he's checked in for Young. A shot by Ellington, no good.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
Here's Allen with the second effort. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throw.
And he sinks the second.
Well, you know, the Nets were able to sneak into the playoffs as the 8th seed last year. Had some good wins against the Western Conference, and that really was a big boost for them getting to the postseason.
The Grizzlies trail by 7. Here's Udrich. He feeds it to Allen. And taken away by Johnson. And here we go. Fast break. Ellington's got the ball. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Ellington's got his second bucket of the game to go. And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for the Nets.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
And that is good.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They have got to figure it out.
Well, Memphis loves the grit and grind mentality of this Grizzlies team. We all know that. They are at their most fearsome, I think, right here in the grindhouse.
No doubt about it. Some names just stick, and everyone here knows when you say grindhouse, you're talking about the FedEx Forum. Memphis so strong in this building.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And that's a foul. It's called on Wayne Ellington. That's his first foul.
Second team foul.
Randolph a screen. Now Udrich. 14 points from him the last game against Chicago. At the elbow, it's Gasol. And that one's good.
Well, I tell you, last year, guys, the Grizzlies lived up to the nickname of the Grindhouse. Top 5 defense here at home, and a lot of close wins that could have gone either way, but they grinded them out.
And this collapse we've seen by their interior defense, it's really the reason why they've struggled and are in such a hole.
Miller outside. Here's Allen. Lopez with the block. And they'll keep possession. In transition, here come the Nets. Now here's Ellington. Tight defense on him. Back to Johnson for 3. Down it goes for his 3rd basket in as many tries.
And those close wins and that blue-collar attitude is really what helped Memphis get to a 31-10 record here at home. I mean, good for second-best home record in that very tough Western Conference.
Udrich dishes to Gasol. That's good. And it's Udrich with the assist that time. And it's 6 points for Marc Gasol.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it. And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
And Bano Udrih, a 6'3 lefty combo guard out of Yugoslavia, who can run the pick and roll and has really improved from mid-range, can square up and bury it at a moment's notice.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Kevin Garnett is checked in for Gasol. Wright comes in for Zach Randolph. Jeff Green is checked in for Allen. And it's Conley in for Miller. The Nets also changing it up. Robinson's checked in for Bargnani. And Jarrett Jack has subbed in for Wayne Ellington. Nice work there coming off the screen. Green's got his second bucket of the night. And Udrih lacks the quickness, Clark, to stay with most point guards defensively.
Yeah, just by a step or two, and that's why he's better defending two guards. He does a much better job when he's matched up with twos versus point guards.
.104 left here in the second. Here's Conley. And he converts the layup. Conley's got 8 points.
Huge hole in the defense that possession. He didn't waste any time cutting through it.
Jack against Conley. And Jarrett Jack again. Jack's got the lead up to 14 now for Brooklyn.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the lead.
Garnett with a screen on Jack. Conley pass to Garnett. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet. Conley's got 3 assists in the game. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Jack passes to Robinson. But they'll get another chance. There's the dish to Bogdanovich. There's a screen by Robinson. And Bogdanovich kicks to Robinson. Count the bucket.
Thomas Robinson.
And the Nets lead by 14.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
And Green slams it in.
Michael Conley with excellent vision on that pass.
It's tipped. And so that's the end of the first half. It's the Nets. They lead by 12. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be taking a look back at the first half of basketball. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They are leading by 12. And we'll start with the big fella. Shaq, what'd you see? And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to...
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
Some really terrific numbers for Jack. 12 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
And when it's all said and done, I got a sneaky suspicion he's going to have a few more.
Conley and Allen in the backcourt. Randolph is the 4 with Gasol in the middle. And it's Green in at the 3, the small forward. That's the lineup in the game for Memphis. And Young with the basket on the assist by Ellington. Ellington's got 3 assists tonight. The Grizzlies trail by 14. Nets were pretty far back from relevance at times last season, as we saw. It took a late season hot streak for them, Greg, to get into the playoff picture.
Yeah, and that was a neck-and-neck race with the Pacers right till the very end. Not exactly what they had in mind at the start of the season, but they did pull through.
No coverage that time. And that's now 11 points for Mike Conley. Lopez right side. Down low, stolen by Randolph. Here's Allen, and with that one, the lead is trimmed to single digits. Allen's got 7.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
Johnson attacking. Can't get it to go. Now the Grizzlies take it the other way. Pass to Gasol. Allen kicks to Gasol. And the layup's good off the glass. 8 points for him.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And the dunk by Lopez.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
They get a hand on it. And the foul on Jarrett Jack. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, we all know that #1 overall picks are incredibly valuable. I mean, they can change the course and face of an entire franchise. Last season, the playoffs were full of teams that featured #1 overall picks.
Miller's checked in for Memphis. Argnani is checked in for the Nets. Hollis Jefferson comes in for Johnson. Over to the wing. Stolen by Allen. And now running up the court, Miller pushing it up. Ejected by Young. And that's out of bounds. Memphis will retain possession. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Here's Gasol. That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor. And guys, teams with the #1 overall pick tend to go very deep in the playoffs. Just the nature of how the NBA lottery and rebuilding structure works.
Yeah, and in the playoffs last season, every team in the conference semis but one had a #1 overall pick on their roster. So that one team was the Grizzlies.
Miller kicks to Randolph. Miller dishes to Randolph. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Randolph's got 8.
And when they desperately needed to get things turned around, they were able to rally and get back into it.
And, Greg, it was really their defense just as much as their offense that served as the real catalyst. And I think it allowed them to put that run together.
Grizzlies timeout.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. Clark, looking around the league, there's no team that teams want to play less than the Memphis Grizzlies. They just wear you down.
Well, they play a physical brand of basketball. They play hard. Everybody's on the same page. And even if you beat the Grizzlies, they take a lot out of you in terms of how they try to wear you down.
Beno Udrih, he's checked in for Allen. And the Nets making a change here as well. Robinson's checked in. Miller, the pass to Gasol. Good. And Miller gets the assist. 12 points for Marc Gasol.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
And the Grizzlies played so well against all the other playoff teams. Part of it is that they just have a style that matches up well with anyone.
Randolph sets a screen for Green. Left side, Randolph. And another basket for Memphis.
And they've worked the ball around so well tonight for those quality looks from mid-range.
Well, it's interesting. The defense continues to back off, expecting them to attack the rack. But they just continue to pull up and knock down those mid-range jumpers. You know, that's the thing with the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, there isn't a team that gives them too much trouble anywhere in the league. They're good at home and on the road. They're used to playing in tight, low-scoring games. And they create that situation with their deliberate style.
Kevin Garnett is checked in for the Grizzlies. Wright comes in for Zach Randolph. Bogdanovich, he's checked in for Brooklyn.
Well, I tell you, the Grizzlies guys were really dominant in the first half of the season last year. But after the All-Star break, barely played above 500.
That's good. And it's 6 points for Robinson.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Miller kicks to Green. And again, it's Memphis with the 3. And Memphis would end up going 16-13 over the back half of last season. Down the stretch, they would only go 5 up and 5 down in the final 10.
Yeah, and Kevin, all those games so important as they jockeyed for position in the West. It was so fluid and volatile down the stretch. They could have been anywhere from a 2nd seed to a 6th on any given day, and they just happened to slump at the wrong time.
And Udrih gets it to go.
What handle? He broke the D down to the ground with that move.
Here's Robinson. Good, and Jack gets the assist. 8 points for Robinson.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Back to Miller. Garnett left side. Shot clock at 6. Here's Udrih, and the Grizzlies tack on 2 more.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
It's Robinson high post. Wright's there. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. 10 points for Robinson.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
And how? I mean, they're taking this defense to task, taking them to school. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
Bogdanovich, no luck. There's Miller with the 3. And again, it's the Grizzlies from deep. And that does it for the 3rd quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the 4th quarter. Nets lead by 4. And time for the short break. And we're set to start the action up here in the 4th quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. Here's Jack. So for Brooklyn now, Jared Jack is out there with Wayne Ellington. Then it's Young. Then it's Brook Lopez. And it's Johnson in at the 3.
Just carrying the load right now offensively, guys. He is not wasting any chances.
From where I sit, Greg, it's a simple deduction. If they want things to be easy on themselves here late, make sure he has the ball.
And guys, Jeff Green, by every measure of athleticism and skill, should have become one of the game's better small forwards, but inconsistency has plagued him throughout his career.
And Kevin, I always go back to something my college coach told me. The mental to the physical is 4-to-1 in this game. And so through those 7 full seasons, he's teased everyone with that talent. And then it does suddenly disappear. And there's no other way to describe it other than the fact that it is mental. He hasn't been able to sustain it in terms of the consistency, and that's why he hasn't fulfilled his potential.
Conley with it. Now Jack defending. It's Allen with the drive. And the wide open shot from Green. Gets to the corner and buries it. Green's got 9 points here in the 2nd half.
And now both teams really in a groove.
This game already, guys, was high scoring, but they've really amped and ramped it up to another level down the stretch.
Kicks it out to Johnson. And it's Brooklyn scoring again.
That was a tremendous shot off balance, and the defense just draped all over him.
Outside, Green. Johnson over to help. Green dishes to Gasol. Again, Memphis.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
Out to the right wing. 3-pointer Ellington. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. Johnson's got 5 assists tonight.
You can really see that his confidence is at a high level here in this half. He didn't have a 3 in the first.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
And look, Joe Johnson last season, not his best statistically, but boy, did he show some heart. I mean, he was one of the catalysts for Brooklyn making the playoffs, especially when Brook Lopez returned healthy and the two could play off of one another.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Dave Yeager coaching his team during that break. He told his guys, time's running low. If we're going to make our move, it's going to be now. Are you guys ready? And as they nodded, he said, let's go get it. Kevin?
Talking about Joe Johnson, I'm not going to lie. Last year wasn't one of his best statistically, Clark. His shooting accuracy was on the low end. His turnover numbers were high. It wasn't very pretty.
But for Joe, Kevin, I don't think it was about the numbers last year. It was about wanting to compete and to win. And he's developed a champion's will over the years. And I would like to see him finally achieve his goal of maybe winning the championship. I think he deserves it. He's been consistent. He's been solid. And now you see some maturation with him as well.
And that one's good.
I mean, you never expect to get opportunities that easy coming down the stretch of a tight game.
Young left side. And he finishes nicely on the layup.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
Here's Ellington, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Checking out the game Wayne Ellington is having. He has 18 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
And maybe it's time for them to set a few more screens for him up top and let him add to that total.
The Grizzlies trail by 8. Tries again, and Green with the lay-in. Green's got 11 points here in just the second half.
They've gotten some good second chances here in the second half, and that kind of extra effort will go a long way into cutting into this deficit.
And it's good.
Now this is more like it. 9 points for him from three-point range this half. That's 9 more than he had in the first.
Conley kicks to Green. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball with one of their own.
Greg, we've got a three-point battle taking shape here.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn.
And did not seem happy about how things are going on right now and maybe wants to make some changes.
I agree. I mean, just was not comfortable with the way things were set up at that particular time. And in that case, I think it's the right thing to do.
Memphis has gotten off 4 shots from three-point range tonight and buried every one of them. From the stripe. Up again. No good. The Nets go the other way with it. Here's Johnson. Green with the block. Here's Gasol. It drops. That's his 9th field goal of the contest. A blistering hot 9 for 11.
That's a quick bucket there. Solid in transition.
Well, you know, he loves the chance to get out and run, and we can see right there why he does.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page. Clearly, he's not pleased with all the looks they've given up on the inside, and also to get them to tighten up that defense.
Yeah, and I think he's going to let them know about it. I mean, they're playing some soft interior defense, and you can't win that way. That's a recipe for disaster if you're not going to play with some physicality inside.
He dents the rim with a two-handed slam.
Wow. Perfect inbounds play there. You couldn't have drawn it up any better.
And Jack kicks to Lopez. And a great assist by Jack as that one goes in. 10 points for Brook Lopez.
Just a major size difference between the defender and shooter on that possession.
And Greg, without a hand in his face, he's simply going to spray whoever's there.
Outside Conley. And it's Randolph penetrating. And that one is stuffed right through.
Well, I tell you, he squeezed that on just tight as he could before that throwdown.
Yeah, no way he was going to lose that thing on the way up. You're right, Clark.
And better safe than sorry on that one, guys.
Shots good from Young.
And really, he's just done a great job of finding the open man every trip down.
Boy, it sure has seemed as though he's done it every time. It's been an awesome display of passing for him today.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
Brooklyn leading by 6. And Jack kicks to Lopez. That's good. Lopez has got 4 points in the quarter.
Now that's where you like your shots to come from.
Memphis has gotten off 4 shots from three-point range tonight and buried every one of them. Nice shot by Randolph.
Well, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
Brooklyn's gone 5 of 8 from three-point land. 15 points and a deep ball for them tonight. Jack's shot is good. And the Nets lead by 8.
And with that basket, you'd have to think this lead is secure.
I'm almost ready to go there with you, partner. Not quite. I'm hanging around at that 98% mark, so it's just about done, but I need a little more evidence to close the book on it.
I think it's safe to say this baby's over.
Yeah, that's fairly obvious. I'd say that's a really good assumption on your part. What a great game for Randolph in this one. He's got 16 points, and he's rejected a shot over the course of the game, too.
And it easily could have been more. He's played an effective game at that end of the floor.
He drops the first one, and that brings them within single digits. So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Gasol. Wright comes in for Jeff Green. Leno Udrich, he's checked in for Tony Allen. And Miller's subbed in for Mike Conley. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Robinson's checked in for Young. Hollis Jefferson comes in for Johnson. Bogdanovich is checked in for Wayne Ellington. And it's Larkin in for Jarrett Jack. And he gets it to go.
Boy, he picked him out brilliantly with that feed inside.
Lopez kicks to Robinson, and he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Terrific run to seal the deal.
Yeah, and now let's just keep an eye on how much longer they keep the foot on the accelerator.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. They're trailing by 11. There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, they can call all the timeouts they want, but really, I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home just like the players are. There's nothing they can do to salvage this one right now. Let's go. Get out of here. Game done.
Yep. You summed it up.
I was going to say, yeah, I don't think we need to comment after that.
Adios. And so it's Brooklyn with the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, gee, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they...
Kevin, we have Brooke Lopez with us. Tell us what this means to the team. You guys really played hard and earned this one.
You know, it's very big for us. It was a good benchmark. We've been trying to improve every game. You know, we've been getting better these past few games. And, you know, we know these guys are a very good team. So.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here, so is Shaquille O'Neal. Time now for some highlights as we take a look at our Jordan Player of the Game.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
Well, just look at his assists. I mean, that tells the story for the game.
And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game.
Let's take them back. Yeah, 94. As the preacher takes a pulpit, fix your coat, prepare for 40 below spit. 7 days of heaven's ways and hang-ups. Chris and Ryan again, and we wishing anybody who isn't wishing us well bankrupt. A L and whatever else ain't up. As far as me, I'm still caught up in all the... Still calling my expendables, cause it's hard to believe I can fit all of them boys in one... And the streets start trembling. It's way too many it seems. Too many witnesses. Up and down with their visions of what a street is. I call it the seesaw syndrome. Syndrome, maybe you make a mistake, you lose. And this is for the real hip-hop. So would never, ever, ever ask me, am I here to replace Guru? Word? That's how you feel up on this track? Little try on that. What you trying to rap now?
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Brooklyn Nets going up against the Indiana Pacers. Taking a look at the Pacers, they're in the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. and that actually represents what would be a good deal of improvement over their showing last season. Well, the Pacers certainly have the defensive side of the game down pat. Very strong defense for them for several seasons running. The problem, Shaq, the offense, how do they make the most of their possessions?
Well, they don't have the personnel to get out and run.
Greetings and best wishes for a happy holiday season from all of us at 2K Sports as we get set for this NBA presentation. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my colleagues Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. So glad you could join us here in Brooklyn, the home of the Nets. And, of course, Chase Budinger. Even with him gone, they've shaken it off quickly and have really come together as a team.
You know, what the trade means to me, guys, is they think some of their younger players are ready to spread their wings and take on a little more responsibility. They're going to get more minutes for those guys and allow them to see a little more playing time.
Clearly a forward-thinking deal, you know, and even if his aren't the biggest shoes to fill, it still puts a lot of pressure on your young guys. And let's see if they're ready to fill that void.
Here's the starting group for the Indiana Pacers. They've got Paul George. Ellis is out there with George Hill. Then it's Hill, and it's Gibson in at the 4 slot.
He's deadly from that spot in the corner. He's been known to pile up the points from over there.
And it's George finishing it off.
And really just led him to his sweet spot for that finish. And I feel like there's a reason Joe Johnson has gotten a number of astronomical contracts. It's because he does everything for you. He's like one of those items you buy that touts everything you need, nothing you don't. Well, to me, that's Joe Johnson.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition. And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
And that's a foul. It's called on Wayne Ellington. And it's the Pacers with the ball. Hill kicks to Gibson.
And really, despite that miss, they've had a solid start offensively.
And off there, he misses his first shot of the night. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
It reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
And the foul on Jarrett Jack. That's his first foul. Gibson the screen. Right side George. From the arc. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. George has got 5.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Dishes it to Gibson. Finished off the break.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
And here we go. George heading to the hoop. Throws down the breakaway jam.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Ellis, that's good.
That was the 3rd straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
The game's just far too easy right now when it comes to attacking the basket. They have got to do better.
And Stuckey led the charge for the Pacers bench, Greg, as you were talking about. But all around the reserves, Clark, were fantastic on the Pacers.
Yeah, 3rd in the league at almost 41 points per game off the bench. 1st in the NBA in bench rebounding and top 10 in field goal percentage as a bench.
Jack's shot is good.
Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
Young with the steal. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Clark, this tug-of-war game continues.
You know what? And they just keep flip-flopping the lead again and again and again.
And, guys, that's lucky number 7 already in this game.
The Nets with the lead. Guys, this offense very effective.
Going right at them.
And, guys, the defense has been no match. They've just picked them apart.
For Indiana, they've gotten 7 of their first 10 attempts to fall so far. Excellent pace to their offense. And the basket by Hill.
Not much defense to speak of yet here, guys.
Nope. It's been all offense, fellas, all the time here early.
What are you going to do defensively? Such separation with the height advantage in that matchup.
Now here's Ellis. Ellington defending. Left side, George. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got his 3rd assist on the night.
Great start for him. 4-4. He could be in for a big game.
Certainly looks that way to me, partner. I mean, his energy level is ramped up. I think he's been terrific right from the opening tip.
And a new group in for the Nets. Bargnani has checked in for Lopez. Thomas Robinson comes in for Young. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for Johnson. And it's Bogdanovich in for Wayne Ellington. Then for the Pacers, Mahaney's checked in for Gibson. Hill comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's subbed in for Ellis. And it's the Pacers with the ball. After the basket by Brooklyn.
That's his first personal foul.
.115 left to play in the first quarter. To the middle, here's Mahaney. And he dunks it down.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Offensive rebound. Robinson passes to Bargnani. Here's Bogdanovich. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
And another lead change here. How many of these are we going to have tonight?
I'm not quite sure, but I'm willing to bet it'll be more than a few.
Pick up by Hill. On the wing, Hill from past the arc. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
And how about that? Responding to the three-pointer against them with a quick one of their own.
Terrific little tay-to-tay going on right now. Back and forth. Here we go. A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Pacers trail by 3. All alone. Bargnani grabs the board.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You've got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
And there's the defensive 3-second call. Brooklyn shooting their first free throw of the evening.
And they were 75% from the line a season ago.
And he shows the focus there, nails the technical. .19 left in the first quarter of the game. Nets passing it around. Hollis Jefferson, good.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
Stuckey against Jack. Hill has the open look. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. Hill's got his first basket.
And that's really using the double team against the defense there and creating that pinpoint passing to attack.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Nets lead by 8. And talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do.
I think I had that all my life. I always had to prove somebody wrong, and, you know, still to this day. That's just the competitiveness that I believe my oldest brother built into me when I was little.
And Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And, you know, that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal scorer.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for Brooklyn.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And it doesn't look like they'll be giving up on any plays tonight either. Their offensive rebounding has also been equally as impressive.
On the court for the Pacers as our second quarter gets underway. C.J. Miles and Paul George are the wingmen. Mahinmi is out there with Taj Gibson, and it's Stuckey in at the point guard.
And last season, the Nets made sure nobody went off against them. They would lose games, but they did a great job of limiting an opposing star from taking over.
And here is Jack after Paul George getting his 3 to go. That is good.
And he's been the catalyst all game long. Love how he's distributing the basketball.
No doubt about it, Greg. I mean, when the offense runs through him, it's really smooth.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling. Up high and down hard with the one hand.
Got a little extra forceful with that one, didn't he? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's going to rouse up his teammates, no doubt.
Now, here is Bargnani. He's got 5. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Bargnani's got 7 points. Stuckey kicks to George. He feeds it to Mahinmi. Lopez with the steal. And now here's Johnson, the fast break chance. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
They've given up a lot of three-pointers here today.
And their defensive rotations have been non-existent.
Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
The Nets making a switch here. Young's checked in. Indiana also making some changes. Monte Ellis checked in for C.J. Miles, and it's Hill in for Rodney Stuckey.
And, you know, the Pacers have made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off of back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
At the elbow, it's George. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush. And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine their goal isn't just to get back to the playoffs, but to get back to being a conference final participant.
Here's Young. The Pacers making the shot. Pass to Lopez. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. He had the foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
And, guys, you look over the history of the Defensive Player of the Year award, and it usually goes to big men. Big men get the blocks and clog up the paint, but before last season, the last 10 Defensive Player of the Year awards went to bigs. And guarding him on the perimeter isn't a priority for them right now, but if this continues, it will be.
Johnson attacking, and he gets it to go. Johnson's got 11 points.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Last year, we saw Kawhi Leonard with the Defensive Player of the Year award. Draymond Green was runner-up, and although he was a power forward, I thought, Clark, he was defending on the perimeter quite a bit.
Yeah, he was, and, you know, it's only the 8th time out of 33 Defensive Player of the Year awards that's not been given to a big guy. So, well earned by Kawhi Leonard, and Draymond Green very easily could have won the award, too. I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
That's got to be job number 1 right now. Nothing easy on the inside.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Last outing for Indiana. They won that game against Charlotte.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Guys, simply a complete team performance, and road wins where everybody contributes really can galvanize a team and bring it together.
So for the Nets, Robinson comes in for Brooke Lopez. Hollis Jefferson sub in for Johnson. Nets leading by 5. Got a piece of it and taken away by Ellis. Hill drives in. Rebounded by the Nets. They've led by as much as 10. This game against Indiana, the first time they've met this year.
And as you would expect, they came out on top in last season's series against this club, but no reason to expect anything different this time around.
Exactly, guys. They're clearly the better team, but you can't take anybody for granted. They're all NBA players. They get their checks twice a month across the league, so you've got to come prepared and focused and ready to play.
As we've gotten closer to halftime, their style has become more and more physical.
Boy, it certainly appears to be the case, Greg. I mean, they've spent a lot of time at the foul line this quarter, and that's the result of attacking the rim and being physical.
And Robinson wide open. He shoots. Sinks the three-pointer. Robinson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Outside Hill. Gibson setting the pick for Hill. Goes back up, so the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
Bargnani is checked in for the Nets. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for the Pacers. Fires for 3, and the Nets another 3.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Pacers trail by 7. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Hill, the open look. Good, the assist goes to Hill. 9 points for Hill.
And started hot, and he's only gotten hotter.
Ellington dishes to Robinson. And it's Brooklyn scoring again. 12 seconds left in the second quarter. The pass to Hill. Fires from 14, and that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Six seconds left in the first half. Miles, that's good.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
Here's Robinson. And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And the teams are going to have to wait before heading to the locker room. They're going to bring out the monitor and see if he got that shot off in time.
And the footage relayed to the officials from the replay center in Secaucus, I think he got it off in time. The replay leaving little doubt.
But to me, it's worth being certain. And that's why we have replay, to get these big calls right.
And they've taken a look at it, and they've overturned the call. They've overturned the call. They're calling the basket good, Greg.
Yeah, and that's why we have replay. I mean, to make sure the officials don't miss any calls. And really a good job to take the second look at it. Would have been a shame if they'd been cheated.
And so we conclude the first half. Nets out in front. They lead by 7.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They have a nice 7-point lead. Shaq. All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start of the third quarter.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
George having a fantastic game. He has 14 points, and he's hit the mark twice from three-point range as well.
And Clark, it's no stretch to say the more points he gives them from beyond the arc, the better off they'll be.
We've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. So for Brooklyn now, Johnson is out there with Young. Then there's Wayne Ellington. Then it's Jarrett Jack. And it's Lopez in at the center, locking down the middle. Ellis wide open. And a pick bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Ellis has got 10 points in the game.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Here's Lopez. Another one falls for Brooklyn. Pacers trail by 9.
And listen, the Nets had an up and down year on offense last season, but the one thing they always did was finish their drives. Very good at getting things to drop off the bounce. That was a strength last season.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some nice buckets by George.
And Jack kicks to Johnson. The rebound by Gibson.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him to miss that shot. Up and in on every one of their first 3 shots to start the second half.
For the Nets, and they're driving. They were fantastic, Clark. Second in the league last year in field goal percentage off those drives.
And a big reason for that is the strength and size of their guards, because they all can finish in traffic, and that's how you get high shooting percentages. You have to make tough shots against contact.
Timeout called the Pacers.
And guys, looking at Jarrett Jack, one word comes to mind: professional. I mean, he's as solid as they come. Tough, capable, experienced, and he proved it all again last season.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Paul George. Their offense is most effective, Coach said, when he is most involved. And they're looking for total involvement from him for the rest of this game. There's still plenty of basketball left to play, and as we watch how these adjustments play out, Kev, it'll be interesting.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Talking about Jarrett Jack, he is especially dangerous at the end of the game. Not only does he make great decisions, Clark, he was a top 10 free throw shooter last season.
Yeah, experienced, tough-minded ball handlers and shot makers are always valuable, especially when it's winning time.
Jack against Hill. Passes it to Mahimi, to the paint, George. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
Up high and down hard with the one-hander.
Got a little extra force for that one, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's going to rouse up his teammates, no doubt.
He's not going to miss many of those, if any. Not when he's got that much room.
Hill against Jack. Hill drives in. And Gibson wide open. He shoots. That one wide left.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities. Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Hill passes to Mahimi. Gibson the screen. Hill a screen on Lopez. Mahimi dishes to Ellis. A picture-perfect screenplay, and the jumper's good. Ellis has got 12 in the game.
That was George Hill getting in the way of the D right there. You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Bargnani is checked in for Lopez. Thomas Robinson comes in for Young. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for Johnson. And Bogdanovich is subbed in for Wayne Ellington. The drive by Ellis. Here's George. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. George has got 10 points in just the second half. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, G8, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. And Indiana making a change here. Miles is checked in. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Brooklyn?
What a tremendous showing from the three-pointer all through this game.
They've consistently drilled the mid-range jumper tonight as well, which has forced the D to come out on him.
Stuckey kicks to George. Inside, Hill. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. And that's 11 points for Hill.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
A nice shot by George.
The points just keep coming for him this quarter, and just at the right time, too, as they try to narrow the deficit.
Jack passes to Robinson. Stolen by George. Stuckey kicks to Mahimi. And that one is hammered home.
Terrific job on both ends of that sequence. Very slick steal, and then excellent transition offense.
And really, it all stemmed from the aggressive defense. That's exactly what the doctor ordered.
There's been a huge discrepancy between these teams in their effectiveness from the three-point line.
It has been pronounced, no doubt about it. Definitely a big factor to this point in the game.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Stuckey up top. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And the shot is good.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Hollis Jefferson can't hit. George, that's a two-pointer. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Nets lead by 6. And right after this, we'll bring... All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. Pacers trail by 6. On the court right now for the Pacers. Hill is out there with Taj Gibson. Then there's Hill. Then there's C.J. Miles. And it's Ellis at the shooting guard position. Here's Ellington. And the layup falls. Ellington's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Nets. Indiana's gone a very strong 4 for 5 from three-point land in the ball game. Outside Hill. Ellis outside. Gibson dishes to Hill. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
And that's good from Jack on the assist by Johnson. And it's now 23 points for Jarrett Jack.
And his stroke has been dead on from the outside. I mean, inside, outside, it just doesn't matter.
Hill passes to Ellis. It's back to Hill. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Just a terrific effort on the offensive glass. That's how they're going to cut into this lead.
And Greg, a dunk like that is sure to give them a spark.
Which is a spark they desperately need, Kevin. They've got to ramp up the intensity. He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. Thaddeus Young provides a lot of things, Clark. Solid on both ends of the floor. You can plug him into almost any lineup and make it work.
Yeah, he's an ideal basketball player because of his versatility. I think that's one of his greatest strengths. Not only can he play the 3 or 4, he can go inside and outside, too.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. They're getting outshot from the perimeter. He told them, we've got to close out faster on the outside shooters. These threes are killing us. Kevin, can they tighten their D?
Here's Ellis. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got assist number 11 for him here tonight.
Such a huge play, guys. I mean, that's a 4-point swing possible. Tremendous steal and conversion right there.
And with the game literally hanging in the balance, a play like that is an igniter. That's where momentum can become a game changer.
Brooklyn leading by 5.
And guys, when you talk about Thaddeus Young, last year was another solid season for him. Excellent job finishing around the rim as usual. Solid rebounding numbers, but still trying to improve his consistency from the three. He started the season strong in that department and kind of fell off a bit at the end.
Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Jack. And he lays that one in. And now it's a 9-point Nets lead.
I tell you what, I don't know what he did in the locker room, but he needs to do a little bit more of it because he's on fire.
Gibson the screen. Outside Hill to the inside. Lopez with the steal. And now in transition is Jack. Here we go. And Young with the stuff.
Touches it down.
Rubs it in. It looks like a little deeper with the hanging finish.
I tell you what, they're not backing off at all, are they?
Pacers trail by 11.
Man, Thaddeus Young, he's really entering the prime of his career right now at age 27. Hard to believe he's now in his 9th season. Only spent 1 year in college. Still plenty of room to grow.
Hill against Jack. Here's Ellington. And again, it's Brooklyn converting.
Boy, I love the great assist that time by Jack.
For Indiana, they've gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
He went a decent amount of time before his first turnover there. It's really been a good, safe stretch of basketball from him to this point.
George is checked in for the Pacers. And the shot is good. George has got 14 points now in the second half.
Really a heads-up play on both ends there. The steal and the quick push on the break.
Rapid-fire basketball at its best. Boom, 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 bang.
And the shot is good.
And such a steady hand. I mean, he's one of those guys that's really allowed them to take the lead.
Well, he's just so reliable and dependable and consistent, especially here today. I mean, his shooting percentage is off the charts. It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
Here's Hill. That ball, nice feed that time from George. George has got 3 assists in the game. Brooklyn leading by 8. And Jack kicks to Lopez. Yes, once again, it remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
And that kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
Jarrett Jack with a strong contribution so far in this one.
He just continues to light him up. They're going to have to find a way to make him work harder for his point.
It's Hill on the wing, defended by Jack. That one goes. Count it. And that's 13 points for Hill.
Oh, a fantastic quarter for him here in the fourth. I mean, efficiency personified here.
The kick out to Lopez. Again, the Nets for 2.
This is some kind of performance we're seeing from him today. He has yet to miss a shot.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They trail by 10. 1:29 left to play here in the fourth. George dishes to Gibson, and the foul called on Joe Johnson. That's his first foul. There's 1:26 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Gibson with the screen on Johnson. And George, here we go. And it's blocked by Lopez. And so the ball goes out of bounds. Lopez touched it last. And it's the Pacers with the ball.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle. And that's held true in this one so far.
And Clark, their effort on the glass has given them the advantage, but it's also been the effort in general that's made a difference. And so only one team answered the bell tonight, guys. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Nets.
And Clark, their hard work on the glass paid off.
You know, they both are excellent rebounding teams. I thought it was a tough battle underneath both ways.
And now, for the year, this is going to take him to 7 wins.
And beyond the actual result of this game, fans are going to look back and see this was just a monstrous performance for Jack. He just looked like an orchestrator out there. His teammates kept running to the open spot, and he found them time and time again. I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead.
Well, I know you don't want to say it, but I will, partner. I mean, they're trying to run the score up here. It's plain and simple. They're trying to throw salt all in that wound.
And the basket by Hill. 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Jack with it. George picks him up. So it looks like the Nets will retain possession here.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Fortunate to get it through. I thought he was headed the other way with that one.
Here's Larkin. 3 from the inbound, and the shot is good.
And that's just a little more for these fans to cheer about as they get ready to celebrate a W.
Well, let the party start. The celebration begins, and they're going to let their guys hear it.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They're losing by 12. 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
You know, you like the fight all the way to the end, but let's face it, guys, this one's over.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I really think you shouldn't be allowed to call timeouts late in the ball game if there's no chance for it to do any good on the scoreboard.
Robinson against Allen. Robinson drives in.
Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Thomas Robinson. That's his first personal foul. Shooting.
And the first one drops.
Taking 2 shots.
And so he makes both from the line. Here's Bargnani. It counts.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
Well, you know, it makes a big difference. I mean, you never felt like they had any doubts that they'd come out on top.
And time now to go courtside as we...
Well, congratulations, Joe, on this win. The hometown fans enjoyed a game that saw plenty of contributions from multiple players, including some guys off the bench. Just how important are the reserves to this team's success?
That's huge, man. When our bench comes in and plays like that, you know, we're a tough team to beat. And that's what you're going to need down the stretch for those guys to come in and play big minutes and contribute to wins like this.
Guys, it takes more than the starters. Joe, thanks for the time.
Doris, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching
the 2K Sports postgame show.
Kevin, thank you. So why don't we take a look now at the entire second half was just phenomenal. You could see there was no way he was going to let them lose.
He was up to every single challenge he faced tonight. He was in such control of the ball game. His showcase of his skill set was awesome.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.